Hi, my name is Justin Day, otherwise known as Just in Case, otherwise known as The Real Deal. This is Geeks with Issues.
Hey, true believers, welcome to another episode of Geeks with Issues 20XX. It's the James Bond episode, everybody. Ooh. I don't know. Tony Lee Thomas sung about this. We were prepared. Chinese food is named after him. You know this. Okay. Before we get into the geekiness, let me introduce to you your geeks. To my far right and your left, the 8-bit adventurer, Sean.
Stirred, not shaken.
In the center on the screen is our lead technologist, Ogre.
Goldfinger.
And I, your friendly neighborhood Geekmaster, am Tuck. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's jump right in with a topic brought to us by Sean.
Player information in games, specifically in this case, video games. This has come up because I recently started playing a game called Schedule, where it kind of follows, I don't want to call it a trend, but just the sort of design philosophy of games like Tunic, where it encourages players to experiment and learn the game without explicit instruction. In Tunic's case, you have to unlock parts of the instruction manual in-game, which is also then written in a language that was developed for the game.
Uh-huh.
But in the case of Schedule, there's no instructions. So it's all figuring stuff out using sort of iconography and design language. Whether it works or not has to be seen. But this was something that I thought was just an interesting topic of like how much information do you personally want when playing a game versus being able to figure something out.
So I would say it's a hallmark of good game design. Regardless of whether or not you have a tutorial, for the game to be able to, first of all, you pick tutorial or no. Then you design the game so that there is a certain amount of intuitiveness to learning how to play it. Mm-hmm. And an awareness of the fact that if you do not build that intuitiveness in, you're going to have players who are not experimenters jump out.
Yeah.
I can think of an example, and it's funny you picked this as a topic because my wife and I were having a discussion about this as a topic because she deleted 3 games from her Steam Deck.
Oh, no.
Because they had neither tutorials nor intuitive controls. And it took her more than 15 minutes in each instance to figure out how to play the game. And at that point, she's just mad at it and it's over.
Yep.
So I would say, but to a counterpoint, if you decide to do a tutorial, design the tutorial well, so that it teaches the skills and isn't like over-describing the process. Because the number of tutorials that say, this is how you should do this thing, do this action now, and the game does not anticipate you to do a critical, and then you crit, and the tutorial freezes up because it doesn't know what to do next.
Yeah.
Terrible design.
Yeah.
Maybe not of the game, but of the tutorial.
Yes.
Ogre, what do you think?
I think Yeah, I think it has to do with how the story's being told within the game too. Because if the story is built on an air of mystery, an air of not knowing, the first game that came to mind, the one I used to love playing as a kid, and we're going to date myself here, is Myst. I remember everyone around me is so frustrated with the game, and I'm just sitting there clicking all the switches until I made everything move there. And that didn't frustrate me, but I knew a whole host of friends from high school and all that that were just like, I can't play this after 5 minutes. I went into the room, I had the guy talk to me, and what do I do next? Why is there a, why can I sit in a chair and there's stars everywhere? These things. So I think it's a balance of storytelling, what Tuck was saying, the players' tenacity around figuring out what is going on, and if they care or not. Because if you don't get the player to care about the game soon enough, they're just gonna be done.
That's an interesting point about design. If you don't care about the game, why are you playing it?
Yeah. I think as a final thought, I think the game that best does this is, I mean, Breath of the Wild was touted as like a masterclass in this kind of design, where they just kind of gave you challenges within the game of just environmental design that made you intuitively learn controls and how to do stuff. Like you're just presented with a vertical surface, and that's how they teach you that you can climb.
Yeah.
Because it's too high to jump, but like once you walk toward it, you automatically latch on and you climb up.
Well, and can I also say with games like that, there is an appreciated element where they will always show you in a small, unobtrusive way what the controls are.
Yes.
So if you are just picking up the game, or you're just picking up the game after not playing it for 2 years,
Yes.
and you knew the controls and forgot them,
Yeah.
you can pick it up again quickly.
Yeah.
It's about good design, people.
Yes.
That's it. How much information? Depends on the design. Speaking of gaming and reasons to be frustrated or surprised by a gaming experience, we have a question from Ogre. Ogre has a question from Ogre.
I have a question from Ogre. Well, let's see here. Hidden gaming treasures. There. Oh, I see what. Okay, I see what it is. So, games. When you picked up a game or you were recommended a game, and you just assume that it would be garbage. So you looked at it, you were like, oh man, I don't want it, but it was offered, and then it was actually a gem as a game. Are there any games that stand out like that for you?
Yes. So while Sean,
I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, no.
you guys
While
go ahead.
while
I
Sean
gotta
thinks,
mull this over.
Ogre, what do you have?
I can kick it off here. I was recommended a game. This was a few years back. It was on Steam. It was called FTL. It was it's essentially like you build this ship, or you're in this ship. You're going on a mission, and you have to manage the resources and kind of go through different sectors in order to beat a boss at the very end there. And I got so addicted to the game. It looks like an old, like, I don't know, maybe 16-bit game. You control these characters. There's aliens. There's action events. There's everything. It caught my attention so well, and I thought it was absolute garbage when I first uploaded it on my computer. I was just like, I can't. This is going to be terrible. It's going to be a 5-minute and dump. But 40 plus hours later, I'm still playing it. It's great. Yeah.
So the game that I can think of is Star Control 2. So Star Control 1 had this very rich sort of manual backstory, but the game very much consisted of the base of the game is a physics spaceship shooter, and very 4 to 8-bit physics spaceship shooter. So the control and each ship handles momentum differently and has a different weapon. So it's an experience unless you are really interested in mastering ship mechanics, which I'm not. It's meh at best. Star Control 2, so I was playing it on a compilation disc. So I played Star Control 1, and I had that. I'm going to try 2, and it's going to add new ships, and it's going to be slightly different. And no, actually, Star Control 2 is one of the most beautifully written homages to classic science fiction diplomacy and exploration, and the depth of the game is absurd, to the point where I played it 2 times. One just to experience as far as I could go on my own, and then a second time with a walkthrough so I could really dig into the depth of the game. And it is one of the first games that I can remember where during the final boss battle, I was like ugly crying because of the way they had tied the story together, and things that you had done in the past had changed the outcome for the way the game occurred in the future. It just completely different game. And still, in the retro is new again era, holds up beautifully, and is available for free if you're looking for it as it's called the Urquan Masters if you look for the open source version.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm still struggling to think of one that is popularly viewed as bad. Yeah, the best I can do is something that I didn't think that I would like. But I'm still drawing a blank.
Fair enough. Well, what will not cause you to draw a blank is this next journey from the basement, where Trevor continues his expedition with the good folks from Truly Independent Wrestling, this time taking you ringside from the North Adams Rec Center for their most recent battle. Let's check it out.
Well, we're at TIW's Fall Frenzy. This is an annual event. We're really happy to be here. We're in North Adams. We're at the North Adams Rec Center. Stat card tonight. Probably, we're looking at 40 plus competitors tonight. So of course there's a big TIW Rumble, which is 40 competitors. Plus we have our main event, which is absolutely knock it out of the park. We have Redneck Randy Walker. We have Tamar Justice. And this is an outhouse match, which is, I haven't seen this yet. I've looked at the designs for it. Absolutely out of their minds. But this is big deal for the heavyweight championship. We also have other matches that have championship implications as well. It's a stacked night tonight.
You know what pisses me off is that I left Orchard Park, New York, the greatest city in the world, home of the 5 straight AFC East champion Buffalo Bills, to come face Redneck Randy Walker. It's not even worth my time. The guy's a joke. It's been said that he was a joke, and I believe it. But I have a feeling he's going to convince me otherwise, because he's got a lot of heart. I'm going to take this serious. I said I was going to end your career. I said you were going to leave the ring with a limp. Guess what? I guarantee you what's going to happen tonight. Outhouse match, that's beneath me. But you chose the stipulation, and now I'm going to end you by any means necessary.
He is your challenger, Redneck Randy. Your truly independent wrestling heavyweight champion, Trevor. Ladies and gentlemen, this match ends still. Truly independent wrestling heavyweight champion, Jamar Justice. Shut up.
So on the previous episode, when we were talking about truly independent wrestling, we were talking about how everybody feels about small wrestling promotions doing their thing. The question that I'm curious about this week is, and I think I know the answer to this one, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How do we feel about these smaller promotions going back to their roots and doing things at like the YMCA and rec centers and things of that nature?
I mean, I think part of it is, you got to do what it takes to survive, right?
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of our larger spaces where that had availability are no longer available.
True.
But I mean, that's where the community is, right? So I think, it makes for at least getting the word out there a good move for them.
Well, and I have a good friend who I used to work with who would tell stories about the WWE coming to, I think, the Boys and Girls Club in Pittsfield. Yes.
What? No.
Yes. Because that was the size and scale of wrestling at the time.
Yeah.
So in my mind, this harkens back to the roots of the medium. Mm-hmm. And is, to a certain degree, where the medium belongs. I'm glad that there's a shiny pay-per-view, stupid, expensive version for the people that can afford it, but there needs to be a version of the people, by the people, the people's elbow, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. The venue being local, being able to kind of hook people in that might even encourage growth in the actor's career or the wrestler's career. It's real. The just overall experience, I think, is unique enough to just excel in a local level. So
awesome. All right. So last couple episodes, I got spicy because I shared my opinion about crossovers and how I feel they are the scourge of independent storytelling, and they are the cause of our current lack of independent thought when it comes to movies and television. But I wanted to share a place where crossovers feel safe, and I wanted to ask the geeks why we think that is. And that place is in Lego. Because when Wizards of the Coast announced the Star Trek crossover for Magic the Gathering, I felt yucky. When Lego announced the Enterprise set, I was pumped. Why? I mean, I can answer why for me, but why do we think that's different?
So I think this, to start off with, it works because Lego is somewhere on the spectrum of building blocks toy or model kit.
Yes.
Right? It's either extremely imaginative, creative building block toys for kids, right? And that's where you just dump out a bucket of Legos and just let them go to town.
Right.
Versus, and then, as you graduate with adult money, then it becomes, this is my model building collection, which that just lends itself to crossovers. Like that's the whole purpose of it is, being able to build, whether it's, real life objects, scaled down real life objects or scaled down versions of movie props, et cetera, et cetera. So I think, Lego, of course, had its own sets, but, licensing out to brands that will be able to provide all sorts of different ideas for adults with money has caused an explosion in their business. And so I think, it just works. And it's also, they take great care in adapting models into Lego figures and Lego bricks and minifigs.
I think that's an excellent point, that there is, at no point does it feel like a cash grab. It feels like a respectful adaptation. For me, I think there's also the element of that creative space when it comes to Lego, in that when you dumped out a bucket of Legos for little Tuck, he built the Wrath of Khan wrist communicator and phaser.
Yeah.
And carried them around. So having legit Legos that are Star Trek harkens back to something geeky and primal.
Yeah.
Whereas in other instances, I think that's where my yuck comes from. The lack of creativity and the cash grabby sensation.
Well, and it's also like the in-universe Lego is either, representing is sort of real life stuff, with like Lego City or Pirates, Castle, things like that. Or, doing just like very broad themes of like their sci-fi, their like space sets and things like that. And I think it's generic enough that if you're wanting something more specific, Lego's more than happy to just say, like, well, here are a bunch of people that have something more specific. We don't have to come up with that because we're cool with just doing generic stuff for kids to use their, like, to do more subdued, plainer ideas that you are able to reconstitute more easily into other things. So I think given that that's sort of the mission statement, as opposed to, this is a story that we're telling.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But wouldn't it be cool if we imported somebody else's story?
Yeah.
Instead it's, again, like these are, basic building blocks for you to do whatever you want. But, if you just want to, build a model kit of the Millennium Falcon, here you go.
True.
That'll be $500, please.
Yeah.
Ogre
Yeah,
close.
I did scoff a little bit at the cash grab because
No, that's being well aware of the fact that Legos are luxury priced, we'll say.
$300 Deku tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair. Ogre,
Sean touched
closing
a lot
thoughts
of
on that?
the points that I was, Sean touched on a lot of points that I was thinking. I think the biggest things for me is it doesn't break the story whenever you do something like a Lego. So you're not saying, oh, I'm going to have The Office and Star Trek in the same game or something like that. So it just breaks the story, and that does things to the brain there. I also like the meditation aspect of being able to sit there with the Millennium Falcon or sitting there with the Enterprise D and building it, reimagining, reliving, re-experiencing all of the joy that you had while making those constructs there. And I also think to a certain extent there's a bit of parody in it too, because you're dealing with a very different construction system than like a beautifully well-made starship or a beautifully well-made battleship from Pirates of the Caribbean or something to that nature. There's a parody aspect to it that I think makes it more acceptable as a thing. So those are my three.
There's an 8-bitness to Lego, as it were.
Yes.
We in the biz call that voxel.
Yeah, that's
Since they're three-dimensional.
That's fair. I don't have a good transition for this, so I shall take a small bow and wrap up this episode of Geeks with Issues 20XX. We want to thank you for watching. We hope you check out all of these episodes, whether this is your first Geeks with Issues episode or you've been with us the whole time. Check us out online at geekswithissues.net, where you can see this, as well as the continuing conversation, which Ogre brilliantly set up for a Between the Geeks episode. Imagine that. You'll have to check it out on the website to see what we're talking about. But in the meantime, for the Geeks, this has been
Sean.
Ogre.
And Tuck, hoping that you geek on, geek out, and geek anywhere. Just make sure you clean up after yourself. We'll see you next time on Geeks with Issues. Goodbye, everybody.
You gotta blow on it. You gotta blow on it. I used to think anything was possible. I thought that I could be a king or Caesar, but I don't need all of that gold or silver. That's how I know that I'm a true believer. Some people wanna climb the corporate ladder, TPS reports, politics and schemes. Thanks to my chainsaw, my cubicle is firewood. Now I'm living in a basement of dreams.